when you think of something, and for everybody who's listening, when you're thinking you should do something, that's a thought put into your head by a higher power. That's your second brain. You need to do it and do it immediately, because you're going to be sitting there 2 months or 2 years down the road and be like, shit, I should have done what I was thinking about 2 years ago.
Listening to myself allowed me to do 30 bodybuilding competitions and get my pro card and fall off a cliff 12 years later and walk away from it.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to another episode. I am your host, Sean French, and this is the podcast, The Determined Society. Today, I have with me a special individual. Her name is Juliana Holloran. She is a president and CEO of WeFit. She is an IFBB pro bodybuilder and a professional athlete. She's built a business around helping people achieve their peak physiques in an easy-to-follow 12-week body transformation program. But the best thing that I really like about Juliana is her experience. And she does something completely different that no other trainers are doing right now. So with that being said, I want to welcome Juliana to the show. Welcome to the show, Juliana. Thank you, Sean. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to have you on. You know, I'm glad our schedules finally linked up and we were able to get this thing going. And I'm grateful to have you on the show. And I think the audience is really going to enjoy what they have to hear from you. So.
Well, thank you. I'm excited. Let's dive in.
Absolutely. So, hey, you know, I like to start off the show just kind of like, and forgive me, my voice isn't as normal. So to all my listeners, I am coming back from, I don't know what I had. It wasn't COVID. It wasn't the flu. It wasn't strep, but it knocked me out. And I'm just grateful to have a voice right now. So for those of you that listen to the show all the time, this is not my normal voice, and you guys are gonna have to deal with it. So Juliana, you know, let's start with something fun. What is one thing that you've always wanted to try that you've never tried?
One thing that I've always wanted to do, base jumping. I've always wanted to go jump off of cliffs and parachute my way down, or just something with an adrenaline rush.
Wow.
I kind of experienced that last year when I fell off a 20-foot cliff in Mexico with no gear on. So I might have gotten my taste for it then, but the next time I do it, I want to have a safety net. So.
Well, yeah, I would think so. So let's go back to that real quick. Okay. You fell off a cliff in Mexico.
Yes. So our first vacation with my boyfriend, we went to Mexico and we went ATVing. You know where this is going.
I do.
And my first time, I love tons of sports, fast activities, high adrenaline. So I was really excited and I got ahead of myself and I jumped over one of the sand dunes, not expecting that there was nothing other than a 20 to 30 foot drop and onto the beach and rock. So my ATV went one way, it flew down it landed in the beach in the water. And I Supermaned in the air, flipped over, and I landed on rocks. I know I did not have a helmet. Yes, I know what everyone's thinking right now. And imagine being the poor guy who watched his girlfriend fly off a cliff just not too far away. Luckily, he got me to the emergency room. No broken bones, no internal bleeding. I had a small fracture in my right occipital bone. And the surgeon in Mexico said, whatever you are doing, don't stop, keep doing it. And I do know that my bodybuilding, my weight training, the healthy foods I put in my body, I'm 46 years old. I know all of that. He said any typical woman your age she wouldn't have gotten up that cliff.
I mean, it's an incredible story, you know, and it's so funny because, you know, you bring up a good point and we can dive into it real quick because this is something that, you know, people kind of come at me for all the time. And, you know, I'm nowhere near as healthy as you. Right. But I do lift, you know my story. I lift about 6 days a week. I very rarely rest. I like being in there. It's my therapy. And, you know, people always say, you know, like, hey, what are you training for? I'm like, life, man. Life. Like, and people really don't understand that for me, it's not about, you know, being Mr. America or having the best six pack. What it's about is training for things that are happening on a day-to-day basis. And what you just explained to me is like your years and your experience in bodybuilding and just training in general and feeding your body with fuel that would actually serve it well, possibly saved your life. Right. And that's such a powerful moment. And I think most people would glance over that like, oh, wow, you're so lucky. Like, nah, you created your own luck there.
I absolutely did. I feel blessed every day that I was able to walk away. No, I mean, to even walk, it did, I was on, it did slow down my training. Like I couldn't squat properly for about a month and a half or two. My knee still clicks, but it wasn't going to stop me from, I wasn't going to just hang up my hat and say, all right, well, I'm done. I guess that's it. No, it actually motivated me to want to continue training my body and getting better and coming back stronger. You hear all those comeback stories. No, one of my friends like, oh, you're going to go back on stage now? No, I'm not doing that. I've hung my heels up for that one.
Yeah.
But it does make you really realize and appreciate, I'm like, wow, I'm so happy that I do live this lifestyle, because I am lucky enough to say that it's contributed to me being able to walk away from that, healthy. It's
incredible that you didn't even like have a, like a blown out ACL or anything from that crash. I mean, it's just, it's a story of, I mean, it's truly is something, if you weren't there, it'd be hard to believe it. Right. I mean, going off a 20 to 30 foot cliff and having minor injuries is just almost, they put stitches, and I've had stitches in 3 places and then scarred up legs, but I was totally okay with that. How long did it take you to fully recover? Fully recover till for me to get back to even running on the treadmill was almost a full 6 to 8 weeks. Wow. That must have been tough for you. Yeah. It was, but I knew it wasn't the end. So, right. You just gotta I was just in the present moment doing the best that I can, and then just adding a little more each day. Let me ask you one more fun question before we get into it. All right. So what would you say is the most fun part about what you do? The most fun about what I do is just having the person across from me that I'm helping tell me why they're better or how they're feeling better or how they've gotten off their medication. The most fun is when I help people to, create a better version of themselves. That's really the most fun for me, because I feel like I'm allowing them to gain control of something that they didn't have control of. And it's a very basic question, right? But I love asking it because it gives the true purpose of why the people are doing what they're doing, and from what I'm hearing from you is like, you get so much joy. I've seen that light bulb or the progress. And when someone kind of realizes the things that they are getting out of your program and implementing into their lives, right? That's a true sense of purpose. So I appreciate that for sure. That's awesome. Thank you. So let's talk about WeFit. Yes. Let's give everybody what they've been waiting for. So WeFit. So tell everybody about WeFit, what it does and everything going on with it. So WeFit, my partner and I, I'm a co-founder, co-CEO. I was putting together a course for my clients, all of my knowledge into this. Like I got onto Teachable and started recording myself because I repeat myself to my clients over and over. And I wanted to create some type of, follow along program where just easy to follow, implement these steps, and you'll start feeling better, improving energy. So I went from creating a course to rebranding. I was formerly Feisty Fitness by Juliana and just doing coaching. After I moved to San Clemente to work for Lifetime, and after COVID hit and they released me, I went on my own. And then one-on-one coaching kind of disappeared for a little bit. So I went virtual. So I was trying to see how can I continue to reach my clients without being in front of them and just putting them through exercises. So I created this course on lifestyle and nutrition. So I'm a degreed nutritionist and I have a psychology degree from University of Houston. So I've taken, the things that I've learned on behavior-based coaching and put that together into a course, and then decided to deliver it through social media. And not only that, I've been using an app that I can connect with my clients, where I can customize their workouts and interact with them in real time. So they can message me, I can message them. So I put it all together into easy to follow program
but along with a course that teaches them how to eat. So the course is called the 7 Pillars of Health. So my Sean, my boyfriend and partner, we came together and put our brains together and just kind of upgraded the course, and we went through nutrition, we went through sleep, recovery, supplements. We talk about mindset. All of these things are going to be essential to living and getting the body of your dreams. It's one thing to change your nutrition or to do exercise, but there's a formula that comes together. And a lot of times a lot of people are missing these little pieces that, I didn't realize I needed at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep so that my body can recover and I can come back better the next day. A lot of people think, I can get away with 4 hours of sleep. So each of these topics I cover into a course. And then I have an app where they can have their workouts, their customized meal plan with allocated calories and macros for them as well. So it's a lot of things that we're missing, that we think we think we're doing the right things, but there's also a lot of misinformation out there too. We have all this access and resources online, but there's a ton of misinformation, as you know, fad diets that come and go, and that, and also just, not having something to follow and implement, and then actually see results. So what I hope to accomplish with WeFit is to serve the community and give them the right information that's going to actually help them reach their goals.
I think it's awesome. And I appreciate that, what you and Sean are doing, because, a lot of times, you see so many things out there. Like it's, take this pill, or here's this hack, or you don't need this, you don't need that. There's so much contrarian things that are going on that, people that aren't in the fitness industry really don't understand what is real and what is not. And we need great resources out there that, just like WeFit provides, in order to understand what the allotted macros are. You and I spoke about the blood type diet last week. You're well versed in a lot of different things that a lot of trainers aren't they aren't aware of. And it's super important, because there's a lot of people out there, including myself, that are getting that misinformation and misdirection. And it's a yo-yo back and forth. And, while I'm getting stronger, maybe my body's not performing at the physical peak that it should, because I'm not giving it what it needs. Or maybe I'm giving it too much of something. We never know. So I think it's super important. And I love the fact that where you started, just creating like a follow along course for your clients, and it's turned to this amazing company.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's the thing with the course. There's not a lot of, not a lot of trainers or coaches out there that have an actual course that put together. So putting the course together, I felt was something where they could go back over and over and watch. And they're just 1 to 2 minutes, bite-sized videos, quick. I know, I understand. My attention span isn't that long either. So it's just, you could just play it in the background, listen to me talking, about meal prepping, about, even down to the details of weighing and measuring your food. Why is that important? Is it important? Is it for you? Is it not for you? It just, because everybody's different. Everybody has different goals as well. And just understanding nutrition alone, that's another umbrella, that just has so many other branches also underneath, like all the different diets, like which diet it works for me. And kind of going back to what you said, we did talk about the blood type diet. And I've used the blood type diet as a resource, for many years, and found that there's just great benefits of looking at our food list. Going in and saying, if you know that you're a blood type O, what are the foods that could be causing me inflammation, and removing those and just substituting for something that's more beneficial. And when you do that, one thing I tell my clients in a consultation, if you don't ever talk to me again, all I want you to do is find out your blood type, look at the food list, and just start implementing good practices with that. And I guarantee you'll start to feel a difference.
It's really amazing. And I mentioned that I needed to get my blood work done so I can go check that out. Cause I've had multiple people talk to me, just like some friends, like, hey, have you ever tried the blood type diet? I'm like, no, I haven't, I just, I try to eat, I try to hit my macros, like the protein, the carbs, fats, and again, it's like, to our point is there's so much misinformation going around. How much protein do you really need?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a whole nother thing right there. That's a big question. How much protein do we need to have?
Because I have people telling me like, hey, just go off your lean muscle mass. Right. Then I have some people telling me like, no, to do what you want to do, you need at least 300 grams of protein a day. I'm like, that's a lot of food. That's a lot of food. And I don't even think the body can process that much.
You're not wrong. Yeah, our body can only process a particular amount. And there is a formula. There's a low end, like, okay, take 0.8, multiply that by your body weight, and that would be the low end of it. Research shows most people are already under eating in their protein. So anything over 90 grams for most people is like, whoa, that's a lot. And then if you start tracking your food, first just start tracking your food and seeing where you stand when it comes to protein is a good place to start. And of course, if you are trying to put on muscle mass or just lean muscle in general, we got to have the right amount. We have to have the right amino acids, which come from our protein. So that's where you want to start. And there are different ways and formulas. Even if you're on MyFitnessPal or Lose It, all of those apps have the same formula that are going to configure what that number should be as well. So there is a general formula out there.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I take in right around 230 about 215 to 230 a day, right around there. But listen, you said something really interesting a while back, and I really want to dive into it because it was like a moment of adversity, and I think that I really want to highlight that because that's typically what the show's about. And when you said it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. This is going to work out perfectly because you moved out to San Clemente to work with Lifetime. And then COVID happened. So you moved from Texas to San Clemente for this new venture with Lifetime. And COVID hit and they let everybody go. And now what? You have a choice, right? You could make it work, or you could, do like what a lot of other people do, which is wallow in the misfortune and not get better. But you did something very specific. And I want you to talk about that.
Yes. So when COVID hit and everything, all of us stayed home. Everybody, was left from, let go from work. And, they brought me back after about 4 months, and then they let me go again, which was even double devastating now. Yeah, right.
That's brutal.
But it was a good place for me. And you're right. I had some coworkers that were like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. I can't believe they're doing this. We all moved, most of us moved out here. And I thought, well, this is a great opportunity for me to shift gears. And mom was like, hey, are you coming home? Are you coming home? Like, no, I'm staying out here. But it was a great opportunity for me to shift gears. And then I started looking at things differently because our nation was in a place where everybody was getting sick and dying off, and it was a scary thing. And then I started realizing, well, let's think about the ones that are healthy, and what could we have done to prevent that, and starting to look at the statistics and everything. Like unfortunately, there were a lot of, overweight people. The stats were showing who the unhealthy were and that they were getting sick the most. So that was my opportunity to really say, hey, we've got to get healthy here. We've got to start nourishing our bodies, nourish our body with the right things so that we reduce inflammation and we're better off fighting infection when it does happen. And I know, and it's interesting as we start to change those habits and maybe we get sick again, or we're not getting as sick as often because we are taking better care of ourselves. But so looking at this, changing, going from, working for a corporate job and then allowing myself to do my own thing, it also allowed me to reach so many more people. Especially with the platforms that we have on social media, I felt like, it's my duty to help people and give them the information that they need so that they can get better, because I do get a lot of subscribers or people out on social media that they just don't know, or I didn't realize that I wasn't doing I thought this was right.
Yeah. What are some of the, give me some examples of that.
So, well, for example, when I do talk about the blood type diet, someone comes to me and they've been eating whole wheat bread. Whole wheat bread is marketed as being, whole grain, whole wheat. It's healthy for you. So, of course, as a consumer, we're gonna go with what the marketing says. Oh, this is healthy for me. Cheerios, whole grains, heart healthy, awesome. I lived that life as well before I knew what I knew now. And then when I introduce the blood type diet and say, let's say, for example, as a blood type O, corn and wheat are two ingredients that are highly inflammatory. They slow your metabolism and they cause weight gain. Now imagine someone who's eating Cheerios for breakfast, a wheat sandwich, Subway sandwich with turkey. They're keeping out the cheese, no mayo, but they're eating, or maybe they're eating 6 inches at lunch and 6 inches for dinner because they're on a budget, whatever the case is. They feel like, well, I thought I was doing the right things, but what they're really doing is they're putting things in their body, they're causing inflammation. So even just that one piece of information can be beneficial because now you're empowered with the knowledge that's going to allow you to, start better habits, removing the inflammatory foods and doing something that's going to be more beneficial.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, what am I eating that I think is good for me? Right. Because maybe it's lower calorie, maybe I can achieve a certain macro with it and protein or carbohydrates or whatever. But if it's a food that's inflammatory for me, I should know that, right? Because it's not serving my body. It's actually working against me. Even though I'm hitting certain numbers every single day, it may not be serving my body well.
Right. So, so a good way to move forward is when you are, and this is taking it to another step, when you're putting something in your body, ask yourself, is this going to nourish me or is this going to inflame me? That right there is an easy, it's not, it's going to inflame me. All right, I'm not going to have that.
Yeah.
Or even looking at food that spikes blood sugar and causes cravings. A lot of people don't understand that certain foods they're eating in the middle of the day are causing, like, oh, I have these cravings. I do great in the morning and lunch, and then I have cravings, and then dinner is a mess. And then it goes down to, well, what is it exactly that you're eating?
What are some of the foods that spike cravings?
Here, an example of a food that spikes a craving that a lot of people feel is helpful for them, granola.
Yeah, I don't eat granola.
Granola is high in sugar. Now, it does have some oats in there, so it has some healthy ingredients, but there's a lot of fillers in there that can cause and it's also very dense. So even if you have just a half cup of it, it's high calorie. And it's very dense, and then it also spikes blood sugar and can cause cravings.
Yeah,
so things like that.
That's interesting because it is very high calorie. Granola is very high calorie. It's almost impressive how high calorie it is for something so little. It's like if I get a third of a cup, it's 250 calories. Like what? Like I'm gonna need like a cup and a half to even feel like I ate.
And then what if you're not measuring and you're just kind of pouring as you go? And then you're like, oh, that was good. I want some more. And then, here's another cup. And then you're up 3 cups for the day. Yeah. And then an hour later, you're hungry again because now you've gone from spiking your blood sugar to dropping it. Yep. And now you're like, I want more.
And now you're up to probably 4,000 calories.
Sometimes.
Without even knowing it. That's crazy. Let me ask you a question, because when you were going through the transition from Lifetime, right? Getting let go, coming back, getting let go again. And at that point, one-on-one training was kind of like just non-existent, right? And so you had to transfer all your education, all your skills to the online space. What were some of the biggest, spots of adversity that you faced in having to do that?
One of the biggest ones was the client wanted you there. They wanted you there to train them. So what I did was I started I had clients who I had trained from 2008 to from Texas, where I was just doing, well, let's talk about nutrition. So I transferred them over into a more coaching style. And the biggest thing was that I wasn't there in front of them, but they trusted me enough to know, okay, well, I'm going to plan out your workouts, and I'm going, I use the app. So having that connection kind of brought down that barrier of them not having me in front of them. But that was the biggest thing, was that I wasn't there because they were so comfortable and used to me showing up on the spot at the gym, training them and talking to them through nutrition and everything. So that was the biggest adversity for me.
Yeah. So basically your biggest piece of adversity you overcame by just using your relationships and, walking them through the process of like, hey, I'm going to create your programs. I'm gonna be communicating with you through the app. This is all customized. Is that correct? Yeah. It's really good because, a lot of times when people are facing adversity, especially in big life changes, because as we know in 2020, like we didn't know what was going on, right? Everybody was, I think, pretty afraid of the state of the union. Like what's going on? Like we don't know what's happening. And to be able to remain calm and to pivot like that, and then to also give a sense of peace to your client base, that's some serious emotional intelligence. And I can tell you right now, that is going to serve you in building this company big time, right? Because people need that. People need calm, and it's hard to see the forest through the trees sometimes,
Yeah. And online coaching for fitness is that's a whole new thing now. It's an extension of what's been, what we have access to, versus one-on-one in person. But it's kind of like, I go to a mechanic when I need to get my car fixed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fix it myself, or I'm not the best at finances. So it's important, where do we go for finances? We hire a financial advisor to guide us and get us through the good and the hard times and the ups and the lows. So, why not hire somebody to guide you through your nutrition and coach you and teach you how to implement the positive behaviors that are going to help, achieve the body of your dreams. And that's another thing, the whole body, peak condition body of your dreams. It's not in a bottle. It's not in a pill. If it was, I'd be a billionaire.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, you would.
It's taking the action. And I was attracted to your podcast because you're just like, take action, do it. Don't wait for anybody else. And that resonated with me. I'm like, that's exactly what people need to hear, because a lot of times they're just waiting for things to happen. Like, a lot of times some people won't sign up for my program. They love what they're hearing, but then like, oh, wait a minute. Now I've got to put the action behind it so that I can get the results. But the beauty about that is you're in control and you're now empowered. And that's the thing. You're not waiting for anybody else. It's you. It's just you every day, getting up, meal prepping, going to the gym, sticking to your schedule. That motivation and discipline, those are also things that go hand in hand. When people are like, well, I'm not disciplined enough. Yes, you are. Everybody has discipline. You just are making a conscious effort, whether or not you want to apply it or you don't.
I think the problem is, and you fired me up there. You fired me up. So I appreciate that. Because it's like you have a choice every single day, right? You're your biggest enemy every single day, and your biggest fan is you, period. End of freaking story. And if you wake up in the morning and you don't get after your dreams and you sit on your couch and you don't do shit, you're not going to get shit. And that's true with anything, whether it's fitness, business, your relationship. It's like, dude, just do it. It's going to be hard, right? But like, isn't the alternative even harder? Like, and I caught heat for this. Like on Twitter, I caught some serious heat. I put out a tweet out there, and of course I'm newer to Twitter. Okay. So everybody forgive me, right? I didn't even think anybody was paying attention. I'm like, oh fuck, man. People are actually watching this. And I said something like, if you are not waking up early in the morning and getting the work done, you're telling your kids you don't give a shit. And boy, did that wake some people up. It should, like, the people that came out in droves are like, oh my God, you need to rest. You need to do this. You need to do that. I'm like, oh my God, that's not the point. The point is, if there's work to be done and it's something that's going to propel your business forward, help you in your fitness, help your relationship, help your children, then fucking do it. You don't get to sleep until 6 and say, oh, I get up early at 6. Like, dude, 6 is like midday. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, so I love that. And I love that you picked that out, because that's really what this whole thing's about, is like, and that's why I wanted to highlight of like, okay, when you got let go of Lifetime, what did you do? Because you could have done two things. You could have stayed there in San Clemente and fought your ass off, meet a great guy, become a co-founder of a great company, or you could have ran back home to Texas. Where's the power in running back home?
None. And you're right. I did have a choice. One of the first things I did was I started recording HIIT workouts in my bedroom. I was putting them on Zoom. I was inviting friends. That just wanting to help people turned into 38 videos later of organized upper, lower body, total body. Follow along with me. We're going to sweat together. It was raw. And it's definitely something, and the only reason why I got to 38, Sean, is because I fell off a cliff in Mexico. So, and I have the opportunity to take those 38, and that's one of my on-demand programs inside of the app. So my clients that sign up for the 12-week body transformation, not only are they going to get a progressive 3-month program, they have access to over 45 customized workouts, whether it's upper body, lower body, biceps, triceps. You can test your 1 rep max. There's foam rolling. I also have my 38 HIIT workouts. So if you just want to if you don't have any equipment, but you have a sound body and good limbs and good joints, and you can do 3 days a week of HIIT workouts with Juliana as well. So there's so much out there. So, when COVID hit, yeah, you're right. I could have gone home back to Texas, but that wasn't me. I wasn't going to do that. I wanted to stay here, and I came to California for a reason. And I felt like California, it was long overdue for me to move out here. My son lives in LA. So he was the big reason why I came out here. I didn't want to move to LA though. So I was blessed to be able to come to Lifetime and help them open up. But yeah, we have options. We do. I don't ever take the easy way out. So
no, it's special because, when you look back at it at that point in time, when you're sitting there, firing up your Zoom meeting, which the Zoom stock, I wish I owned stock in Zoom, when COVID hit, I'd be a billionaire, but maybe not a billionaire, but you know what I mean? But, you're getting home and you're at home and you're firing up your Zoom camera, getting people on there. And you're just at that point, you're being called to serve. You're doing something special for people out of the kindness of your heart. And, so that they can, sweat, and also have some camaraderie, right? With people, right? Interact with people, get on the chat, go girl, like whatever, like, yeah, that's awesome. In a time where, people needed that. And, it turned into content, and it turned into a 38 video HIIT workout module course. Mm-hmm. It's really amazing, because if you didn't do that at that point in time, you'd be sitting here right now in this company like, I should have shot 38 videos. So like, to me, like, when you think of something, and for everybody who's listening, when you're thinking you should do something, that's a thought put into your head by a higher power. That's your second brain. You need to do it, and do it immediately, because you're going to be sitting there, 2 months or 2 years down the road and be like, shit, I should have done what I was thinking about 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
So they say, listen to yourself, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm glad I listened to myself. Listening to myself allowed me to do 30 bodybuilding competitions and get my pro card and fall off a cliff 12 years later and walk away from it.
It's fucking crazy, man. That is insane. The whole cliff story, it boggles my mind that you didn't have more injuries.
Oh yeah. Sean was like, I thought I was walking to a corpse. So
dude, that must have been a horrible
deep.
moment.
So, but for sure. Talk about a man of action. Boy, I'm so lucky he was there when it happened.
Yeah.
So
I bet. Wow, geez,
oh yeah.
That's heavy. That's heavy. Let me ask you a question. What was the most challenging part for you, other than not being really in front of your clients in the business model? Because I think there's a difference between, in person and then online business models.
Repeat that. What is the biggest?
The biggest difference, like the hardest thing that you had to do in transitioning from, person to person interaction in business to the online?
Oh, the biggest challenge really was the engagement. Mm-hmm. Knowing how much engagement to give, and making sure that the clients were engaging back, and creating a structure around that. What does that look like? Because in the past, when I was one-on-one, they'd buy sessions. We'd show up. In fact, it was policy not to contact your clients over the phone and messaging. There was a lot of policy restrictions. This opened up a whole new opportunity for me to really engage with them and help serve them better. So it wasn't just, we're going to meet on Zoom once a week and just talk about your workouts and your nutrition. Now we're going to interact on a day-to-day basis. You basically have me at the palm of your hand. That's awesome. So, and at first I didn't know how big that was going to be or how much engagement to give, but then I thought, why hold back? So, and it was interesting in the beginning because clients were like, oh, I don't want to bother you. I'm like, wait a minute. You're not bothering me. You're hiring me to serve you, to coach you. And, so, I'm still learning what that is and what that looks like, but I've gotten a good structure down to where, my clients know that, they can pick up the phone, text, call, FaceTime, whatever, that's the privilege that they have when signing up for the coaching with me.
That's really cool. That's really cool because, people really do want that interaction. Like when you said, you're trying to feel it out at first, like how much engagement, like, no, if someone hires a trainer, they want to feel like that trainer actually gives a shit. Right. And, if you're really lucky, the trainer will, and think of you as somebody like, okay, I'm going to help this person along in life. And I think it's a really special thing because, and to encourage you to, continue to engage because your clients, they need you. You never know. You might just think like, hey, I have this thought. I want to send it through the app to my client, but your client could be facing like a serious pivotal moment right there at that time that you don't even know that he or she is going through. And your message could help them. You
hit that on the nose. That I've had clients respond back like, oh my gosh, I needed that. Thank you. The cool thing about the app is I can record a 60-second video just to cheer them on for the day. And they can send me a video back if they don't want to type too much. But that whole engagement, I would have people come like, I've had a coach in the past and I had to email my questions and they'd respond once a week. Like they weren't used to that. So I like to think that I'm creating something, something special, something where they feel like they feel at home with me. So even because you build relationships as a personal trainer, you become their therapist, their trainer, and now a nutritionist. And for me, it's special because, you really are changing the way they live and the way they see things. My favorite is when I meet like a family member on a call and they're like, oh, so this is the Juliana. So, and the whole family had like, 99% of the time when a wife gets on my plan, the husband benefits too. He loses weight. He gets healthier because wifey's doing all the prepping and cooking. And I love that. I love when I plant my seeds and then, they start to grow out there.
So cool.
It feels good.
I mean, when you can see your body of work in other individuals that you're not directly working with, that's when you know what you're doing is working in that person's life. That's just truly important. So I could talk to you all day, but we got to land the plane here shortly. So I'm going to ask you something here. A couple more questions. All right. And then, I'll let you speak to the audience and let them know like how they can find you. And I'm going to put everything in the show notes as well. So don't worry about that. But, what is the one thing that you guys are experiencing right now in your growth that is something like of a pain point as far as, getting people in the door and people trusting WeFit in their fitness needs?
That is a great question because we are actually going through a pain point right now. So we've launched the WeFit12.com website and we've been running ads for 3 straight weeks and we are not getting any conversions. And we're trying to figure out what it is, how can we hook them? We have a course that you have access to. You've got access to an app. You have a community. And then you have a live Q&A with me every Thursday where you can come in and ask me any questions. So, right now it's just converting people and we're trying to figure out what that is. Is it our ads or are we not giving them enough value or is it in our sales script? What is it? We're still trying to figure that out. But once we do get people come on, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I didn't realize that you had all this. And so we're trying to figure out right now with our marketing team how we can get more conversions out there. That's really the biggest thing, especially, and just trying to figure out which platform to put it on. But that's our biggest pain point right now.
Where does your ads right now? Is it on Instagram?
On Facebook and Instagram right now. So, and we actually just created a brand new ad, which is a post right now on Instagram. We're waiting for the approval to get that launched, but it's Instagram and Facebook for right now.
I mean, listen, that pain point right there, I think is a pain point for everybody in marketing, right? You have to test things. It's a test. This isn't working. And sometimes it's as little as a different color in the background, maybe different font in the letters. It is a thing that, it can be so minor, it's very finicky. So I applaud you for continuing to dive into that. And it sounds like you have a team around you that is helping you with that. I mean, because, doing it on your own, that's always hard, right? Because I'm not an internet marketing person, like I do what I do and that's it. Right. I know one of the greats in the business, but like after that, like I couldn't tell you, so it's like the Da Vinci Code, man. It really is, but you'll find out the ad that converts. And when you do, you'll write it and then you'll have to change it again when it stops working. Right. Because what worked last year won't work today. And what works today won't work next year. It changes. So, but no, I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. And I'm looking forward to continue to connecting with you offline. And I'm going to hop on, definitely do that. I want to check it out. And that way I can tell more people about it. I would love to help you guys out. That's how I can support you. But let's talk about how can the audience best support you?
So, you can go online, start following us at theofficialwefit.com. I am posting content daily to help give you nutrition tips, fitness tips. And then our link is wefit12.com. You go in, it's going to detail everything that you're getting. We have a 7-day free trial right now. So you can cancel before the 7 days. It's not going to cost you a thing. You can even sign up for 7 days, consume the course that's under 2 hours and cancel and benefit from that. I want my content to get out there. I just want people to know that they've got help out there and guidance that I believe is on point, up to date. And I'm here for the community. They can reach out to me and DM me on Instagram on the official WeFit website as well. And then if they want to email me, Juliana at wefit12.com.
That is awesome. And guys, I can tell you how responsive she is. We actually met on Instagram and we started following each other. And right away I knew that, she had a special brand that I wanted to highlight and have on here for you guys to listen to and to gain some knowledge from. So guys, make sure you check out the show notes to where to find her, the website, her Instagram handle. I'll put her email as well and reach out to her because she's doing some amazing things. And I think she truly can help everybody understand what nutrition really looks like. Because at the end of the day, I don't think everybody truly knows what true nutrition looks like. It's more than hitting a macro number, ladies and gentlemen. It truly is. So with that being said, I'm going to land the plane here and thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you to my guest, Juliana, for joining us here on this wonderful episode. And, guys, I want to say one thing. Like I always say, if you got something out of the show, if we said something that inspired you, said something that had that light bulb flicker in your mind, share it to your social platforms. Please tag us. We will share it back on our social platforms. If we sucked, you don't have to, but I can guarantee we didn't completely suck. So until next, guys, thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.